I don't know what to say, where to start.
Happy Festivus is where you start.
Right, we missed Festivus yesterday. Well, my highlight of the past week was we got to go to we all got to go to the Maryland game at the arena, Royal Farms Arena, or you got to give you Bruno Sammartino impression.
Civic Center. That's the name of the place.
Civic, and it was nice to play there. We got to talk to Jonathan Graham, Ernie Graham after the game, but I think the important part is the Terps keep winning. Now, I know people say they don't play enough great teams, but you only can beat the teams you play, Bruce.
You got another one coming up on Tuesday. Now, we have a 2-hour show today. The second hour, we'll get into Terp Talk. We'll talk about, we'll preview the Illinois game. But it was fun being back in Baltimore, seeing everybody. You know, the Baltimore, Maryland people really showed up. 7,100 people. Now, that doesn't sound like a sold-out house. It's not. But remember, this is the Civic Center. And the lower bowl was just about filled. And at College Park, what have they been drawing for these games?
Well, they say they draw 13 or 15,000, but 5,000 or 6,000 show up. I like going to the city arenas. I know that nobody really likes that arena.
Well, once a year. I mean, it doesn't hurt anybody to go there once a year. And it was, you know, for recruiting purposes, for keeping the Baltimore people involved.
But your biggest group of alum are in the Baltimore City area. In Baltimore County, Baltimore City, so you have to cater to those fans at times.
So what was the first, I know we've got football, you got the Ravens, you got who the Orioles are going to get, but while we're talking about Baltimore, Freddie, what was the first game, or first event you ever went to?
That's a great question.
At the arena.
I'm going to have to think, well, I think the Clippers and the AHL hockey team came before the Bullets, and I saw Dave Creighton and coached by Thierry Reardon and Doug Harvey and Gilles Villemure and Marcel Paillet, Marcel Pelletier, Bob Plager, Doug Harvey, Noel Price, the Baltimore Clippers. So they were a AAA team basically of the New York Rangers. And then there were only 6 NHL teams. So you saw a lot of great talent come through Baltimore those days.
Yeah, great goalies, and they were mainly known for their song of "Win You Baltimore Clippers." That me and Freddy could
Win you Baltimore Clippers, win you Clippers from Baltimore,
fight you Baltimore Clippers, and score. There you go.
Well, this could have been brought to you by Town Hall at this point.
That's right. I like Town Hall. It's a great place to go. Thursday nights I go there. They usually find me in the street Friday morning. It's a great place to go.
But Freddie, tell me about the Knicks and the Bullets from back
Nothing
then.
like it. Nothing like it.
In a very, extremely intense rivalry. The Bullets lacked a little bench where the Knicks had an edge, but you had Gus Johnson against DeBusschere, you had Reed against Unseld, Marin and Bradley, Barnett and Lockery, and Earl the Pearl and Clyde Frazier, and it was just tremendous basketball.
As Earl Pearl said himself on the show, it was showtime when he came to Baltimore. But the game I remember the most, Freddie, I don't know if you were there, was when Earl was traded and he came back to Baltimore. And the fans were booing in a sense that you can't imagine. And Earl put them all quiet. He played one of the greatest games I've ever seen. And you know, the truth, his days with the Knicks, he was another guy on that team. He was part of a puzzle, but it was always going to be Clyde on that team.
Freddie, is it Jim Carvallis? Who's your announcer?
Jim Carvallis from the Civic Center.
Bullseye!
Charlie Ekman. Here's Monroe spinning the lane for the 25-footer. No good rebound. Unseld up and in. He's fouled. 56-51. Timeout Knicks.
All right, let's move on. All right, and I want to move on to a topic that I think is germane when we talk about the Bowls, and we're going to get to the Ravens a little bit later on in the show. But Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette are not playing for their teams respectively. That's Stanford and LSU. I harken back to Tuesday afternoon. I put the TV on from Miami, and there was literally nobody in that game. Some of these bowl games, or I would say, Freddie, most of these bowl games are almost becoming superfluous. Now, that doesn't mean I'm against the bowl games, but I am against a guy risking his career, risking his future for a game that means nothing. And so the other argument says, well, you're letting your teammates down, you're letting the university down. You're not letting anybody down. You're looking out for yourself, which you have to in the business world, and one injury, a la Willis McGahee, or what's happened in a game.
Another guy in Notre Dame last year busted his knee up and Cost him.
Who was the linebacker?
Jalen Smith.
Jalen Smith. There you
Jalen
go.
Smith is
Thank
a great
you,
Dallas,
Jason.
I believe, but he cost. He may never play again.
Okay, so you have, I know you love the NFL preseason games because they mean nothing.
Right.
And now we have the college bowl games that you just put in the same category. We're going to charge $75, $150 a ticket, and they're exhibition games, and we all know it.
They're not even exhibition games. They are absolutely meaningless. The only thing that's important to these games is 15 extra practices. And what's to stop the NCAA from letting every team have 15 extra practices?
I'm not sure that's the only thing. I know that kids like going. I know that kids like being on national TV.
No, all right, here's the point. I'm not saying to get rid of them. What I'm saying is that if you're a super talent, if Mason was a super talent in football,
Not just in radio, but in football as
we
well.
already know he is in lacrosse, but if he was a super talent in football, and he was going to be a second or third round NFL pick,
Already. Doesn't matter
and
what he
now
does in
his
the ball game.
team's not playing for the championship. They're not in the Rose Bowl. They're not in the Orange Bowl. They're in the Poinsettia Bowl or the Sun Bowl or the Quick Lane Bowl.
Ooh.
All right.
Hey, I'm going to Detroit. Don't knock it yet.
No, I'm not knocking it. What I'm saying, if
People knock Detroit every day.
if Maryland had a player, if Will Likely was healthy, all right, if he was healthy, and that game was coming up, and Will Likely probably still will be an NFL pick, would it be worth it to him to play in the Quick Lane Bowl?
Will likely, yes, because he can show he's healthy.
No, I'm saying if he was healthy.
Right.
Yeah, I think he would play because he's not a
We're
first round
talk-
draft. He's a guy trying to enhance his situation. And
You're talking
But you-
about two of the top picks that probably on the draft board. So this is the same. This is a recast of the argument of the kids that leave when you used to be able to skip college and just play pro basketball. And we have all these debates about what ends up being 5 or 6 kids. I don't see many college players thinking that they're above the team and their financial needs are above playing with the guys they played with for 3 or 4 years and saying, I'm not playing the bowl game. It happened 2 times. So that makes it newsworthy. I want to see if this is a trend or is it just 2 kids this year that decided it wasn't worth
Oh, it's a
getting
trend.
hurt?
It's a trend that's starting, and you're going to see a lot of it as it goes
and we'll
on.
see if there's more injuries
Exactly
to
right,
kids
Freddy.
this year in the 41 bowl. 41 bowl game is absolutely absurd. Then I could see more kids, saying, "Yeah, I don't think so." But most of the bowl, other than the semifinal game and the championship bowl games, now the bowl games are pretty much meaningless.
But you got a big one coming up. You got Hawaii in the Aloha Bowl, who's 5-7, playing I think Toledo, who's 6-6.
Go ahead.
What a great thing for Toledo, 6-6 to go to Hawaii. That's really, in my opinion, there shouldn't be bowl. You shouldn't go to a bowl game unless you have at least 8 wins. 6-6 is served 7-5 and 5-7. You should go to a bowl game because your team did well and you're rewarded. And a lot of it's the reward for the money, big money people for the school, the followers. They like to go away, and it's Detroit, for a week or even for a day. Not a place they want to go to Florida, they want to go to Hawaii, California, Arizona, a place where it's warm, where you can go outside, you can do things, and enjoy the a week vacation for the bowl. Not going to Detroit.
Well, the players get the swag too. That's what they like.
You
They
are
love the
lis-
swag.
You are listening to
Coons Ford presents the Sports Maven. All right, had a double think with the Turp Talk coming up later
on
on.
1300 CBS Sports Radio here in Charm City. I thought when Bruce said Toledo, you were going to say I got weighed there once. You missed your cue this morning.
I did, and it's all because of Klinger and Toledo, and I'm thinking of dresses.
The Mudhens. Here's the other problem with it. People say, well, they've been given an education. They've done, they owe it to the university to play, and that comes back to my thing about let's take a look at Jim Harbaugh making north of $8 million. David Shaw, the coach of Stanford, again making millions of dollars. Les Miles, no longer the coach of LSU, made millions of dollars. And what did Christian McCaffrey do at Stanford, who led this team for 4 years? He made nada, zilch, zero. All right? He's done his duty. And if he doesn't want to play in this game because his future's on the line, then so be it.
Well,
I don't think he owes anybody anything.
I don't particularly like the fact that these kids played on the team when they're going to decide they're not playing anymore. Somehow that just doesn't, as a sports fan, for me doesn't work that well, but I'm not outraged. And I can't find anybody else At the moment, who seems outraged?
Let's see what happens
Right.
this year with the injuries in bowl games, and see if this becomes a more alarming trend in the future, or maybe it's a couple guys each year will opt out. Like some guys don't like to go to the NBA tryouts, or they don't want to go to Indianapolis for the NFL
Combine.
So let me throw
because it doesn't work. It doesn't work for them.
Let me throw one more thing out in the same area. If your team is going to go to the Poinsettia Bowl and they're 8-3, can you skip the last game of the season because it really doesn't matter?
No, that's part of the season. That's part of the obligation. All right, that's part of the whole thing. And I tell you what could happen. You know, one of these days somebody's going to challenge the 3-year rule in the NFL. It's only a matter of time that they're going to challenge it. You have to stay for 3 years. It hasn't happened yet, but eventually it will. And just like
Did Maurice Claret challenge that and it never got to court? Somebody wanted to leave Ohio State early. But anyhow, it's
he
not
was
German.
involved in something, but
Yeah.
somebody will challenge it, and you prevent these guys from making a living, but you don't stop a coach from leaving like Tom Herman before a bowl game. Now, where's the outcry against him?
Oh, there isn't because they're professional. There should be.
Yeah, where's the outcry?
The only outcry is from the school that gets jilted in that. That's
He
left
was
by the wayside.
negotiating for the Texas job the night before a huge game against Memphis State, if I'm not mistaken. All night.
That's
Then the
what I
next
heard.
day was the game. It was a fact. I read it. He admitted it.
Unfortunately, we don't have the answers, but we have the outrage. We have the outrage.
No, the outrage is to criticize these kids for doing what they believe is right. Here's the question again. If Mason was going to be a second-round pick and he was going to the Quick Lane Bowl, or you might make him go because it's Maryland, but we'll go to Jordan and with North Dakota State, if he was a second-round pick. There you go.
I'm
The Bison.
swagged up today.
I mean, would you want him to play in that game?
I would, but I'm crazy, so we could skip off of me. But there's before we get into the other segments of the show, I do have to throw out a mea culpa because I sat in here for weeks said the Wizards were going to go 9-20, and they didn't.
They're playing some decent ball right now.
They are playing some decent ball. They won 9 out of 14. They got pummeled last night, but they're still the Wizards, and they'll make the playoffs as the 8th team, and they'll get knocked out in 3 or 4 games. There's just no future there. I don't know what the answer is, but
No.
it's
Hey,
hard.
Congratulations to Jaromir Jagr, who the other night
Jaromir
moved
Jagr.
into second place on the all-time points list for the NHL. He got an assist. He got his 1,888th point in his 1,663rd game. He now only trails Wayne Gretzky, who has 2,857 points in 1,487 games. So he's only about 950 points behind Gretzky. So Jagr probably maybe
How old is Jagr?
about 44. So by the time
He's 60.
By the time he's 65, he'll catch Gretzky.
Yeah, well, those are Gordie Howe age numbers. I remember him being a cap for one season. That was a huge failure in Washington.
Russell Westbrook goes into Boston last night. 45 points, 11 assists, 11 rebounds. And apparently the Celtics hadn't given up a triple-double in years. And he got his 14th last night.
In his career.
Yes,
And he has more triple-double
14th in the
in the
season.
season. So he had something that no other team has done. I can't remember that stat. Freddy?
He's breaking all records that haven't been existed. All right? In other words, I don't know what the record is for triple-doubles.
I'm sure Oscar Robertson has it.
I don't, I never heard him.
When you average a triple-double for the year, it's hard not to have a lot of triple-doubles.
Oscar Robertson, though, the difference was nobody used that word triple-double.
No, but they still got, if you look at the
Right.
stats, it's triple-double.
Yeah, I think you could drive up to any Wendy's today and order a triple-double.
You can.
Yeah, and it's all because of Oscar Robertson.
And it's actually two for $10 now.
A triple-double. That would be
Triple-double.
6 hamburgers?
6 hamburgers, 6 strips of bacon, and a partridge in a
Wait,
pear
they
tree.
also have the triple-double hot dog, Bruce.
No hot dogs, baby. They have hot dogs at
You just
Burger
had-
Chef.
Bruce
Burger
just,
King.
Bruce just ate a hot dog about 3 minutes before 9 o'clock this morning.
Well, who wouldn't eat it? It was delicious from Royal Farms.
Right.
Speaking of Royal Farms Arena, I tell you something, Freddie. Now I understand 62 was the year it was created. 44 years the city of Baltimore's had to live with that arena. And it's every time I go, I just shake my head. It's
Well,
hard to believe.
there is talk now again with the new state center situation coming up again, and they've looking for a new people to work that. That, an arena, a first-class arena, is going to be talked about again for Baltimore for the umpteenth time. There's no need for it. There's not going to be a hockey league coming here. There's
I agree.
NHL, there's no NBA. The Civic Center, whatever you want to call it, it's paid for, it's profitable, and there's no use for a 20,000-seat arena for Baltimore.
Well, but Ted Leonsis has found a way to build another arena in Washington, D.C., and I know they sell this place out, but it's not up to standard. There's got to be some value. They say these places are only good for 20 years.
You know what's funny? And I found this out the other day, and I think I've read it before. Now, Leonsis owns the arena.
Right. And,
Right? And apparently, he makes a fortune out of the arena because he owns it. He has no debt. He has no anything.
So, apparently no upkeep cost either.
Right, that's obvious, all right? So, in other words, he's making a fortune out of the Baltimore arena, and to build an arena here would just fight his own product in D.C. And Freddie, you're right. Who's going to be there? I mean, it'll be a concert hall, and it'll be, indoor football and indoor lacrosse, and I don't know if those sports generate enough revenue to make it worthwhile.
And you've got this still award-winning Baltimore Blast. But yes, the arena football team is coming to the Baltimore Arena this spring.
What's their name?
I don't even know.
Shuckers.
Really?
Yeah, they're called the Shuckers.
Wow.
I think he's making it up. I never know about
No,
Freddie.
they're Shuckers. Now I'm thinking now they get Schmuckers to sponsor the Shuckers.
Well,
Jelly company.
please use your own imagination. But
right.
the Washington team is the Valor. So there's two new teams in the league. Ted Leonsis owns both of them.
He owns both teams.
Right.
Could there be collusion
Well,
when they play?
he's building a TV, the Monumental Sports Network. He's trying to build that up into a regional sports network. So he needs teams. He needs programming.
All right, let's get out to our first break. Before we do, situated at One Olympic Place in Towson, Cunningham's Cafe and Bakery offers handcrafted breakfast, lunch, and coffee in a casual setting. Featuring house-baked breads and pastries, roasted coffees, and locally sourced eggs and produce from Cunningham Farms, the Cafe and Bakery is a perfect spot for a quick meal or snack. Parking is free across the street. My favorites are the farm breakfast, the grilled cheese, and the chocolate croissant. Open 7 days a week. Call Cunningham's Bakery and Cafe, 410-339-7750, and I'll be there tomorrow morning. I love the place. This is Bruce Posner. You're listening to Coons Ford Presents the Sports Maven. We'll be back in a few minutes here on CBS Sports Radio 1300.
We have David Crosby producing.
Right.